Let's judge these banned cards and see if they're worthy of being pulled off the list or not. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the series where we take a look at Yu-Gi-Oh's TCG ban list and discuss whether or not any of the cards could come back with or without erratas. And like usual, we'll take a look at the comments from last time, starting with Zodiac Broad Bowl. Tenebrae 17 mentioned that it was banned mostly for its utility with the Zodiac Fusion substitute. Before Tri-Brigade Northern is banned, and so is Zodiac Trident and Barrage. Trident is flexible. Zodiac could easily get back Trident and Barrage, possibly even Broad Bowl in any version of the deck would likely just be fine. Maybe even good, but not dominant. Yeah, it could probably. The change I mentioned was only because of it being a generic requirement. So it wasn't too major of a change. So, wind up carrier would be fine to go to 3 immediately. And while I gladly ban Hunter in his place, I don't even think that Hunter loop as it existed would be played today because of how fragile it is. Yeah, it's possible. There are tons of archetypes that could probably just out it without having to use much resources. So putting carrier up to 3 would be probably nothing. Victory Dragon wasn't banned because of it match winning. It's actually awful. It was banned because of rules surrounding. Okay, the conflicts surrounding surrender, causing conflicts in different regions. Where if a situation arose in which the effects of Victory Dragon was relevant, the person about to get hit would just surrender and take the game loss. Yeah. That actually reminds me of another card that was, what was it? Yu-Gi-Oh! Friendship, where you offer a handshake to your opponent. The opponent could accept or deny it, and then there was another card that was like, yeah, no, you had to accept it. They changed it to where you didn't have to do the handshake, but say, yes, I accept. If they were going to bring the match-winning cards back to the game, legally, mind you, they would have to do a full across-the-board rule change where the opponent is allowed to deny the surrender, regardless of what region it gets played in. So yeah, and if it does, I can see it being put to 1 at most, just to make sure that you can't overdo it. And for last, my mention of Makura the Destructor, was around for 6 months. This was back when FNL updates were every 6 months, and Makura just came out after the previous one. Okay. Okay. It just felt like it was a quick ban because of it being in Gen Con. I wasn't actually sure when it was released. So, yeah. And so with that out of the way, let's take a look at today's cards. And for the first one for today, we have Zodiac Barrage. So Zodiac Barrage is a continuous magic card, and its effect is you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one Zodiac monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Zodiac Barrage once per turn. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one Zodiac overlay monster you control. Attach this card from your graveyard to that overlay monster as overlay material. I think I added an extra this to the second sentence, but whatever. Anyways, I believe this part was part of the comment from Tenebrae17 for last week's comments. Yeah, we really don't have to talk too much about this one. The deck itself died not long. I believe it died out not long after they banned Trident, Broadbull, and Barrage. So seeing the deck come back, even if it was like a low tier deck, a niche one at most, it would still be interesting to see a variety of decks instead of just certain number ones. That's probably why I play a Red Eyes deck. Just saying. But yeah, I can see this coming back at 3 as well. Or whatever it would be decent, Matt. Like you had mentioned, Tenebrae. So. And now, let's take a look at card number 2. And that card is Ultimate Offering. So, Ultimate Offering is a continuous track card with the effect of, during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can pay 500 life points. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon set one monster. So, as you can tell right off the bat, decks that have a lot of monster fodder actually use this, I believe, to prevent final damage amounts by just chipping away at their own life points to be able to save themselves, especially during the opponent's battle phase. Now, could this card come back? It would have to, I believe it would have to have an errata to have it be once per turn. The reason why I said that is that there is no once per turn, and this was brought out, I believe, towards the beginning of the game itself. What was it, Metal Raiders? I think it was Metal Raiders when this card came out originally. Let's take a quick look. I wanna say it was the first, or one of the first sets in the game. It was not that. It was Tournament Pack 8. It was still one of the first early sets. It was 2006, and then it was brought out as a common, more widely available not even a month later in Invincible Fortress. That was the main thing for that deck was something Exodia. It was an Exodia deck, effectively. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, not having a once per turn on a card where you can just block damage and prevent like a last hit is just irritating and kind of degenerate. So suggesting a once per turn effect might do something, but I don't know. With that said, let's go into the last card. Yeah, sadly enough, the last card for now. Which is Vanity's Emptiness. Now, I believe this was another card that Tenebrae 17 had mentioned in a previous video for the comments. So let's go over Vanity's Emptiness. It is a continuous track card, and the effect is neither player can special summon monsters. If a card is sent from the deck or the field to your graveyard, destroy this card. Now, players would use this on the opponent's turn, and then right after that, they would destroy it on their turn, thus being able to effectively out their opponent. Yeah, it was a degenerate card. If this were to come back, there would definitely have to be an errata. The errata would be somewhat unique to the game. I'm not sure if any other cards actually would have this effect, if it did. And the effect would be regardless of something along the lines of regardless of destruction, that player, the effect still lingers on for that turn. Something along those lines. So yeah. But yeah, if it had the change to where the turn in which it gets destroyed, the effect still persisted, I can see it coming back at 1 at most, if it isn't that major of like a downgrade. So yeah. And for the time being, honestly, that is going to do it. I'm not going to look over the recently banned ones from the last 2 lists. It feels a little too early to do that. Yeah. I do have plans on other videos for Wednesdays. I think I'd have to look into like certain things, but I do have plans on other kinds of videos for Wednesdays. But anyways, that is going to do it for Can This Card Be Unbanned? Yeah, I think, yeah, I do believe there is at least something I want to talk about for next week. So until then, everybody, happy dueling.
It's time!